So Ellie has a gun who also doesn't know how to handle it either. So they're just out there with cars that they can hide behind. That's it. Do you think one of them would think to go into the house where Joel is? Joel has the sniper. There's only so much he can do trying to defend them from the house. Hey everyone, welcome back to Candid Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMXNG Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing episode 5 of The Last of Us called Endure and Survive. This will be spoiler filled because a lot of stuff happens in this one that completely broke my heart. But yeah, I'm sorry that this review is up on a Monday. I had a really packed weekend and I did watch it on Friday, so it's kind of funny that it took that long for me to get to this point. But I really like this episode, and it had to do with Sam and Henry. I really love that storyline. Again, it adds so much humanity to this show that's supposed to be, like post-apocalyptic. It's about these like freaking creatures that look so gross and that, you could be infected. It has to deal with everything but humanity. And I really like that that's what they're grounding this series, and similar to the video game, as people have told me. So I think for me, the only gripe that I have is with Kathleen. I like Melanie Lynskey. I think she's a great actress, don't get me wrong. I just don't think that she was the right fit for this character. I didn't really feel the tension. I didn't feel, her being intimidating, especially with Phaedra, who you're supposed to like, it's supposed to be this big military presence that comes in and causes all this destruction. I didn't buy it with her. So then when everything kind of happened in that one scene where they start attacking, Sam, Henry, and Joel and Ellie, I don't know, it felt really off for me, and that's why I didn't really buy into Kathleen whatsoever. That's my only gripe with the show. I'm just fine. I'm not watching her for Kathleen. It's just, if we're gonna get with an antagonist, I think that she could have been a bit stronger. I really, really loved Sam and Henry in this. I liked their storyline. I like that we saw a different side of the same episode, which was episode 4. At the end of episode 4, we have Henry kind of encountering Joel and Ellie, and you have Sam also pointing a gun at them as well. So that's what opens up a whole can of worms for the 4 of them. But to backtrack, we get to see what Sam and Henry were doing prior to that one moment where they do meet Joel and Ellie. And I like that they kind of structured things differently and put it into a timeline where you can see different perspectives of the characters within the story. And I think that's what's really strong as well. So the beauty of Sam and Henry is that Henry's his older brother and Sam is his deaf. And he has like a little notepad that he writes everything down on, which I thought was really cute. But it's the fact that Sam really looks at Henry as like a superhero because he's been protecting him the whole time. And meanwhile, there's this one beautiful moment where Sam designs a superhero. He's a great, great artist. And he has this like orange band across his eyes, like a mask. So Henry sees this. He's like, I'm not the superhero here. You're the superhero. So he kind of takes paint and then puts it on Sam's, eyes here. And I thought that was just so, so sweet. There's also different framing that actually has like an orange band across Henry's eyes at one point when he's looking out the window. And I thought that was a really nice touch as well. Beautiful cinematography throughout, consistent. The tension's also consistent. Again, like they're really nailing the tone of the show in each episode. So when Sam and Henry go to Joel and Ellie and Sam have an instant connection, obviously, because they're both kids, and Ellie wants to help out Sam as much as she can, even though she doesn't really know sign language that much. She wants to be able to communicate with him and just make him feel like a kid during this terrible, terrible time. Joel obviously really apprehensive because he sees that Henry kind of plays both sides. And he's like, I'm not going to work with you. There's no way in hell I'm going to work with you. We're going to end up like killed. So he takes note that Henry's just looking out for Sam. The same way Joel's looking out for Ellie. They have these really intimate conversations about their past. Joel gives him nothing. But obviously Henry taps in that he must have had a daughter. He had someone like close to him, and that's why he's so closed off and protecting Ellie as well. Then we get to the point of the 4 of them making a plan to get out of the area that they're currently in, to go past into another border to get to Wyoming. And they venture out into the open road at night. There's a little pocket that you'll be able to break through if you get in there at the right time without Phaedra noticing. That's the other thing. Mind you, Henry also adds that there are pockets where there could be infected, where there could be bloaters, where there could be like these other creatures that can pop up. He warns them that there are little pockets that they could possibly dodge if everything goes according to plan, but something could obviously happen. Obviously, something happens. Hello. We're not going to get tension in this phenomenal show without one of like these creatures coming out of nowhere. So as they're approaching the area, someone takes a shot at them and they hide behind cars. Here's the thing that really just grinds my gears into the ending of this episode, where they could have gone into a car. They could have hot-wired it. They could have gotten out of there if that's a possibility. That was number one. Number two, the man that's sniping them, Joel actually goes into the house. They end up taking him out. That's fine. Now, Joel is detached from Ellie, and Ellie's stuck there with Sam and Henry. They don't know how to defend themselves because Henry says that I have never used a gun in my life. I've never taken a shot before. So Ellie has a gun who also doesn't know how to handle it either. So they're just out there with cars that they can hide behind. That's it. Do you think one of them would think to go into the house where Joel is? Joel has the sniper. There's only so much he can do trying to defend them from the house. Go into the house. No one moves. No one moves. So, on top of that, the man that was in the house was connected to Phaedra, connected to Kathleen, because Kathleen was talking to him on the walkie-talkie. So now she knows that Joel's there, that Ellie's there, and that Sam and Henry are there. It's really important that Kathleen gets a hold of Ellie or gets a hold of Sam. So the second Phaedra comes, I guess there was a rumbling in the pits. I don't know what happened. They start hearing the creatures. They start hearing them. The infected. They start coming up. I've never been so terrified in my life watching something. The way that they filmed all of those people who are infected coming out of that pit and just running towards them, I was shook. That was scary. That was so scary. So they're all running around. Sam and Henry hide under a car while Ellie's trying to shoot and still runs into a car, not into the house. I don't understand. So they do that, and Kathleen's still there. Her team's getting like pummeled by all of these infected people. And then at one point, the way that they shot this, I was absolutely floored. A bloater comes up. This bloater, I think, is like an older version of like either an infected person or a clicker. Like they just kind of evolve as the years go on. If no one takes them out, they evolve with the temperature around them or however the fungus grows. This bad boy was massive, okay? Then you're looking at the practical effects. You're looking at the prosthetics. You're looking at the makeup. It took them so long to make that bloater so detailed and massive and, have all those like moving parts like attached to him and make it look scary as hell. That's what got me. Then what got me on top of that was that Sam and Henry were being attacked under the car. You don't notice that Sam gets bitten. And then once the ending happens, you click in. It's like you probably got attacked from being under the car, which is a dumbass decision. He could have gone inside the house. Those moments are really intense. Again, they build that anticipation so incredibly well because they design these creatures to be terrifying. So they end up getting out of there. And what happens is that Joel and Henry, they're talking about their past. They're talking about what they can do next. Even Joel's kind of like, I'm happy that like we're all together and we made it. Like he understands the extent of what Henry's doing for Sam. He understands that because he kind of looks at Ellie in the same way. I'm pulling out all the stops for her, and he gets it. He gets it now, and that they were able to get through this together. So in the bedroom, you have Sam and Ellie reading comic books, having a heart-to-heart. And at one point, it kind of turns. And this is what's so heartbreaking about this episode is that Sam is writing down on his little notepad that when you shake the page, it erases whatever you wrote down. So he doesn't have to have like pages and pages for him to get his point across. So he writes it down, asks questions to Ellie, asks her, are you ever scared? You never look scared. And she's like, well, yeah, I'm scared all the time, but there's a way of not showing it. So Sam ends up telling Ellie that he got bitten by one of the infected. And he doesn't know what's going to happen. He's terrified. And he's like, well, are you going to be the same person inside if you're a monster? And it's a very kind of like childlike idea versus what obviously adults understand of what the infection is. And it's heartbreaking because there's only one ending here. You cannot live being infected. And that's what's so sad. So Ellie promises him, listen, I'll stay up the whole night. You won't worry about it. I will be here. And what ended up happening was that Ellie thought that her blood could kind of heal the infection. She really tried to. So she kind of cut her hand open and placed the blood on the actual mark. Well, that's not how that technically works. And Ellie was surprised the next morning to see that Sam went full. He changed fully into someone who was infected and started attacking Ellie. So obviously, when that happens, Joel's on high alert, has to defend Ellie. But at the same time, Henry's like, that's my brother. You're not going to touch him. You're not going to do anything to him. What do you do in that situation? That's your brother. You've looked out for him for this long. What are you going to do? So instinctually, because you see infected everywhere, Henry kills his brother. He shoots his brother clean shot. Instant tears. You don't expect that to happen from Henry. It could have been Joel, right? But you don't expect that from Henry. And then on top of that, Henry takes his own life in front of Joel and Ellie because he never took the shot. He never killed somebody. And the first person that he has to put a bullet in is his own brother because he was infected. And he didn't even mean to do it. Heartbreaking. The way that it happened, you don't expect it. I know that people who play the game know that like everyone would be attached to Sam and Henry in this case in such a short amount of time. Again, this is what's so brilliant about each and every episode. You're introducing these characters at the very beginning, making them have a dynamic with Joel and Ellie or amongst themselves, like we saw with Bill and Frank. And there's a love there. There's an instant connection there without saying much. There's not a lot of dialogue in this show, and you are instantly connected because of this like emotional feeling that you get when you think about being placed in that kind of situation. You know what I mean? That's what's so amazing about this series, and it's every single episode that it just drives it home that you can lose someone in an instant. It drives it home. So you have to keep your humanity. You have to keep yourself grounded. In this case, I also don't want Joel or Ellie to lose any more people that have helped them along the way. I don't want that anymore. It's freaking sad. And now Ellie was so attached to Sam, whereas Joel was attached to everybody else that he lost in the first 4 episodes. Now Ellie's like, I was close to Sam. I was so close to him and I lost him too. So now they're both facing loss. They're both facing grief together. The more you bond with someone over something bad happening, over, some form of sadness, some form of laughter, as we saw in the 4th episode, same kind of humor, the more you bond with someone, there's an instant connection that is formed quite effortlessly and naturally. And that's such a beautiful progression for this season because it's not like they're trying so hard to get us to like Ellie and Joel together and their relationship. The father-daughter dynamic is already in place just because he lost his daughter 20 years ago. It's already in our heads, planted in our heads. That's why instantly you feel like Joel has to defend Ellie or Ellie has to protect Joel. Episode 5 is really close to episode 3 for me, and episode 1 is just still top tier. So those are the 3 that have stood out for me over the run of this season so far. I'd give episode 5 probably an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. I thought it was strong. Let me know in the comments below how you feel they handled Sam and Henry's story and how you're liking Joel and Ellie's dynamic, because I'm really vibing with this and I know it's going to get even tougher for them in the next couple of episodes. So if you guys enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.